Welcome to theCUBE. My name is Lisa Maroney. I'm the Director of Business Development for the town of Chelmsford, and I'm back here with another exciting episode with my co-host and reliable co-worker, Jen Melanson, in the other part of the building. Hi, Jen.
It's just like, despite the coin shortage, I'm that bad penny that keeps showing up, you know.
So funny. We're here with a great host from the YMCA Executive Director, Kevin Morrissey, and we thought it would be great to have him come on the show, talk about summer programs and also the year-round programming and everything else, classes, training, all of those types of things that happen through the YMCA. But I just want to say, when I first reached out to the YMCA, I was thinking about the Q and the YMCA and all these acronyms, but it kind of just, no, that doesn't work. But let me kind of hand it over to Kevin, and we can talk a little bit about the summer programs now that we're kind of coming into mid-August or so. I hate to even say that. The summer's kind of passing us by, but let's chat with Kevin about what programs are happening still for school-age children.
First, I'd like to say thanks, Lisa, for inviting me. Great opportunity to come on and talk about the wonderful things the Y does, and talk about the town of Chelmsford and everything you guys do. And thanks, Jen, for joining us. So I just want to start by saying thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Great.
And as you know, obviously this summer's a little different than most summers, but as the Y, we're a community-based organization, so our goal is to serve the community. And it's very limited right now of what we're doing. I think the biggest thing we have going for us right now is Camp Massapog. Normally we have about 350 kids a week out at Camp Massapog. We do get quite a few kids from Chelmsford, throughout the summer at Camp Massapog. We have 2 stops in Chelmsford, one at the TJ Maxx. Normally 2 stops. We're not doing transportation this summer. But we usually have the TJ Maxx Plaza and then McCarthy Middle School as stops. So I would say we get between 50 and 100 different children from Chelmsford every single summer out at Camp Massapog. This year we're a little limited. Our capacity is 140 per week. We're averaging about 125 to 135 kids per week, which is still a good number. Kids are responding well to the new guidelines of either social distancing or wearing masks, which they've done very well. But Camp Massapog's a pretty traditional outdoor camp. We have a swimming area on Lake Massapog. We have archery range, arts and crafts center, nature trails, boating, kayaking, all the things you think about when you want to go to summer camp. And that's what we do. We get kids out there, like I said, almost 350 per week on a normal summer.
It sounds so fun. I mean, who wouldn't want to be there? And honestly, I'm not from this area, so when I went on to kind of study up a little bit, I could not stop staring at that map and how impressive. I mean, to me, it's more than just a camp. I mean, you have like the waterfront area, you have the cabins, right? At some point, was there overnight programming there? Or
Yes. Yeah, so it's 38 acres. We bought the camp in 2010 from the Cambridge YMCA. It originally started as a day camp, and the YMCA from Cambridge would bus kids up out of Cambridge to attend camp overnight. And it's kind of, as time's gone on, they've changed the property a little bit. So we do still have a lot of the original cabins, which we use more for, group stuff. They hold their lunch boxes, their backpack stuff. As a group, they put in there, go on their way for the day, come back when needed. But yeah, interesting story. So we have confirmation that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon actually attended Camp Massapog. I have a picture of Matt Damon, nothing of Ben Affleck, but.
Wow. Wow, so that's pretty impressive, actually.
A couple of famous people that have attended Camp Massapog over the years.
And so you acquired it about 10 years ago. It's not all that long ago. So yeah, it takes a while to settle in, and now we're dealing with COVID and other unexpected situations. But I'm sure that Camp Massapog has created so many childhood memories and will continue to do so.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything like that out my way where I came from, but that's pretty special for this area, I think.
Yeah, it's funny when I'm out there, I've been out there, I try to get out there every day. I haven't been out there that much this summer, but it's really just the relationships. And the one thing I'm hearing from the kids is they're having a ton of fun. It's great. It's a little different, and they miss some of the kids that aren't attending this year because of, the situation. So it really is about, the relationships and making friendships. And, we draw from over 25 different communities throughout the summer. So it's really a melting pot for this whole area to get kids from different backgrounds and just together and make new friends. And that's, I think, the one piece that might be different this summer, because our group sizes are much smaller, 10 kids to a group, no commingling, nothing like that. So there's a little bit, of isolation per group, but they're still experiencing the same camp experience. But I think the relationship building is a little bit different because it's not the exposure to as many kids as there normally would be. I think that's the one part that, is a struggle when I go out there, is seeing, everyone so individualized in their groups. It's just so much different than what it has been in the past.
Yeah, I think though, Kevin, when you look at the bigger picture and maybe where these kids are coming from, being at home and like completely isolated out of
Yeah,
school and all that for these last, what are we, like 5 months into this now or something
something like that. Yeah.
about that? So I can imagine that this camp is even more important to them than any other summer, because it gives them the chance to get out of the house. And even though they're with a limited number of other campers, they're still getting to be with other kids, which is more than they've had in the last number of months. So I'm wondering how things are we know as far as like physical distancing and masking and things like that, keeping the group smaller, that things have changed that way. But how else has the pandemic changed things for the camp? Is the time sort of extended because the summer break is extended for the kids? And is there still time for kids to get into the camp and take advantage of that sort of thing now?
Yeah, and we haven't solidified. We have to, talk to our staff and see who actually is returning to school. Most of our staff are college-age kids, so I don't think everyone's fully decided what's happening yet. So normally we run 10, sometimes 11 weeks, depending on the school calendar. But we're definitely in discussions to maybe extend. This year was 11-week calendar year, at least maybe 2 weeks to September 11th, with most schools going back, the middle of the next week, the 15th, 16th, sometime like that, I think. So it's definitely a possibility if you're interested. We do have 2 normal weeks that were previously scheduled that we do have some spots available. So if kids are interested in registering for Camp Massapog, it's on our website, which I'm sure we'll share, but it's greaterlowellymca.org. And there's a link for Camp Massapog. So definitely still room for kids to join the last couple of weeks. Yes, a couple of the other differences, we're not providing transportation this year either. So it would be drop off and pick up in pods. We have them designated by age groups. So there are some changes. Each group's traveling with their own, set of balls and, anything arts and crafts stuff that they would normally share is very, group specific this year. So it is different, but you're right. Back to your point of just getting out of the house and having somewhere to go and being around other children. I think it's been a tremendous success for the guidelines that were given and making sure that we're trying to keep everyone as safe as possible.
That's great.
And I'm thinking about the summer weather that we've had. I've seen Jen's Gardens for Good is really gone crazy over here in our parking lot. But in terms of summer camp, it's been extraordinary time for kids to experience the outdoors and really have a great summer.
Yeah, we do a lot of water activity. Like I said, we have the lake, so we have a well, so we don't have to pay for water necessarily. So a lot of water games. We added another play pool just because we have to spread kids out more. So we try to get them to cool off as much as possible. A lot of shade out there. But yeah, it's been a good weather summer for being outside. Not a lot of rain, so it's been fun.
Yeah, very, very fun. And, I realized that you have year-round programs, and I saw that you have exercise programs for adults, and you have year-round programs for all ages, actually.
Yeah.
So could you share a little bit with the transition that happens after summer break is over and we get into our fall schedules again?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know what it'll look like this year. We're still trying to figure that out. But normally, we're, like I said, a community-based organization. We serve kids starting at usually 6 months in our, parent-child swim classes, all the way through seniors. So we have a lot of senior aerobics classes, both land and water aerobics. We have a 6-lane indoor pool, which is probably the most heavily used part of the building. We're home to the Chelmsford swim team every year, both boys and girls. So that's one connection we have with you guys there in Chelmsford. I don't know how long we've been hosting you, but I've been here for 16 years, and I know it's been well before that. So
Is that
just
the
about
Barracuda team? Is that what
we have our own swim team as well, the Barracuda swim team as well. We start a little bit younger. I think you have to be 7 or 8 to join the Barracuda swim team. But we generally have about 100 kids from around the area, Greater Lowell. Again, it's, we bring in people from all over, including our membership base. We have about 4,000 members that we provide services to. Youth sports, basketball, soccer, stuff like that. We've had Taekwondo. We also do some tumbling. So
something for everyone, right?
Yeah, we're a starter, type of organization for a lot of those activities. We kind of get the younger kids, we get them started. There's multiple things for families to do. While they're here at the Y, we do offer on-site, babysitting times for busy times in the evening and on the weekends, especially Saturdays. If you can find a parking spot on Saturdays, it's quite busy.
Where are you located in Lowell? I'm not sure if I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, so we're right on Thorndike Street at the Lowell Connector, basically off of exit 5B by the train station, right on the corner. So it's very conveniently located. We also do quite a bit of childcare. We just did a $5 million renovation that's about 2 weeks from being complete. So in that space, we'll have space for 60 preschool children. Previously, we had 50. Then we do before and after school. Not only here in Lowell, but we also do 4 public schools in Dracut and then 2 public schools in Lowell. But yeah, preschool, school age are both on site, about 125 kids on site every day and about 350 kids during the school year between preschool, before and after school. Our basketball program is usually the biggest one of our youth sports, usually have about 100 to 125 kids per session, and we rotate sessions. About every 7 weeks we start. And swim lessons, it's, another huge thing with our pool. We actually have close to 300 kids normally per session. Usually when people come into the building as an adult, they come in, I remember I came here from swim lessons, 20 years ago. It seems to be the tie when people come back to the Y. It's I took swim lessons at the Y. So it's kind of what we're known for and what we do. But we still average close to 300 kids. Parent, child, all the way up through adult. We have adult, beginner courses. Like I said, you can progress into the Barracuda swim team, stuff like that. So we really do serve a wide variety of people. Racquetball courts, there's not too many of those around. And then a full service fitness area. We have an aerobic studio, and then we have your cardio, your weights, TRX, just like, most other gyms. Not that I compare ourselves to a gym. We're more of a, community-based center with a gym and a pool. But we do have those services available for.
I can't think of anything you don't have over there.
Well,
cover so many things, and I'm hearing the numbers and the statistics, and what comes to mind is how impactful it is. Of the work that you do and the effect of the YMCA on families. And, we're just talking from one community here of Chelmsford. I'm sure that Jen can come up with many, many thoughts of connections for the YMCA from families here. And I'm sure the challenge of transportation adds a little bit of difficulty this year, but, the hope and expectation is that we'll be improving and things will be better and different going forward.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, Kevin, because this talk show originated, out of the pandemic and the quarantine and all that, you may not have a concrete answer to this question because you may not have figured it out yet, but I'm wondering if you have any sense of maybe how things may look in the fall, and particularly with a lot of kids that aren't going to be going back to school. A lot of schools are adopting either a hybrid model or, fully remote. And I wonder if the Y has any plans to run any programs that might sort of help out parents working parents particular, who, might have difficulties with the change in their kids' schedules for this fall. It's definitely something that I've heard from parents a lot. And it's a huge concern, for parents moving forward that have to work, not just parents that work, can work remotely, but particularly parents that have to work outside of the home. Is, what do I do with my kid during the day when they can't go to school?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we've been in discussions. Like I said, we serve both Dracut and Lowell in some capacity and before and after school. And then we've been in discussion with both, superintendents and school districts about what the Y can do. What can we offer either, in the traditional before and after care? Do we, offer space in the YMCA to be a remote learning center for children and families that don't have the ability to stay home or have the internet access to do so? With our increased capacity here at the Y with the renovation, we could probably service between 100 and 125 kids a day, either traditionally before or after, or all day. And I don't know where we're headed yet. I'm not sure the school districts know exactly where they're going to settle. And we've, entered some discussions in Dracut with some larger facilities about, hey, if the school district doesn't have room for us, would we be able to partner with you to do the same type of thing? And I know Chelmsford had just come out, and I live in Chelmsford, so I was very interested in the model that they came out with last night, which I'm not sure is 100% final based on the teachers union. But it's going to be different from, what we're used to, and some parents don't have the flexibility. So we're just investigating, what services, can we offer? Do we stick with our traditional before and after school model? Do we transition to a remote learning center for, any community, or do we stick with Lowell, Dracut? So just like everything else that we're dealing with, it's changes a little bit each day. As we move forward and inch closer to school districts finalizing their plans, we'll probably have a better sense of what we're doing. And it might be we offer our building for a specialty. Maybe they come swimming, or maybe they come use the gym. So I think it's evolving, as this, process evolves with the school districts deciding what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's definitely a very fluid and changeable situation that, I hear from a lot of parents who are sort of on edge, just trying to, it's difficult to plan when the plan hasn't sort of been made yet. So
yeah. So, but yeah, here we'll adapt, and we'll be able to offer services in some capacity to, the families that we serve or have served in the past, and hopefully some new ones as well.
Great stuff. Is there anything else we want to kind of answer questions about before we end our segment today?
No, I mean, the only thing I didn't mention was, we do a lot of lifeguard training. I know over the summer, traditionally, we lifeguard at 13 sites, including Hart Pond and Freeman Lake there in Chelmsford, along with some of the private places. So we're always looking for lifeguards. We train usually between 20 and 50 a year. I think it's, it might be, a year where you might need to train a lot of folks heading into next year. Some of our folks did not get enough hours this summer with the loss of some of the sites, but look for some lifeguarding classes if people want to, look for something to do next summer as far as the summer job opportunity goes. But we love training those lifeguards and having plenty to give hours to over the summers.
yeah, I think I may have actually sent a couple of kids your way. I had some inquiries earlier in the summer from a parent that was looking for someplace for her children to lifeguard. So I did send them to the Y because I know that your Y staffs our 2 town beaches here in Chelmsford, and I see them quite frequently when I go over to wipe down our free sunscreen dispensers that I was able to have installed at the town beaches through a grant program. So
that's been great. So.
Excellent.
Yeah, unfortunately, we did not get to operate our classes this year just with the social distancing and, the proximity to each other in the water during training. We didn't get to train any guards this year. So hopefully next year we'll be able to offer some, more classes and, make sure we're all lifeguarded up for next summer.
well, you're offering so much to the community, and we really appreciate everything that the Y offers. And and how much, it just seems like the Y is a ubiquitous, pillar of the community just feels to me like it's been around forever,
Yeah, we're just here to serve communities, and if there's anything that you think we could partner with and help serve the town of Chelmsford, your kids, your families, we'd be happy to entertain that. Like I said, we do a great job of recruiting kids at Camp Massapog, home to your swim team. We have quite a few members from Chelmsford, so I think we have a good footprint in Chelmsford, but always looking for other opportunities where we can have an impact, and that's our ultimate goal, is to serve people.
Great, thank you, Kevin. I think it's great for Town of Chelmsford to be connected with the YMCA, and in particular, Jen and I. We would love to have you come back on the show again sometime. Perhaps in the fall, we can kind of revisit and talk more about YMCA programming, things like that. But I know I've learned a lot, had some of my questions answered. But until next time, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Kevin.
For having me.